Hey there, welcome back to The Man Who Stared at Mountains. This time we also have two ladies staring at mountains. With me are Christine, Jihe and Dominic. We're now here in the village of Machha. To get here you need to take a one-day jeep ride from Kathmandu to a place called Soti Khola. The first half of the ride follows the main highway towards Pokhara and then branches off to the right northward to Soti Khola. Most of the roads have been paved meanwhile, however, the last quarter of the ride is on dirt roads and those are really not very good. Altogether, it took us about 7 hours to reach Soti Khola. The jeep for the four of us and our guide Chandi was 20,000 rupees, so about $200 US. This year we want to try Mannapurnaslu. So we walk the full Manaslu Circuit first, crossing the 5,100 meter high Larke pass. And then from Darapani on we walk the main part of the Annapurna Circuit. The whole trek will take about 21 days. Today our first day of trekking was quite short. It took us about 4.5 hours to reach Machha. The whole hike follows the dirt road, however at the moment it seems to be blocked for traffic because of some landslides and smaller creeks coming down from the mountainside. These are also not too easy to cross on foot, so if it rained a lot in the last couple of days before you start your trek, be prepared for some balance exercises or for wet feet. Apart from this and the many beautiful waterfalls from the mountainsides, there wasn't actually too much to write home about. Machha is a nice little town with several comfy lodges, some animals and genuine village life going on here. So if you want to start your Mannapurnaslu Trek with a comparably short stage, Machha is a good choice to spend the night. Our trek tomorrow will be a bit longer than today and will take us to the village of Jagat, where we will enter the Manaslu conservation area. On our second stage we continue on the new dirt road. It's again often blocked by landslides, which makes hiking difficult and driving impossible. About 1 hour after leaving Machha, we pass through Khola Besi. One more hour and several landslides later, we reached Tatopani, a tiny settlement with a hot spring at the entrance of the village. There is also a basic lodge, but that's about everything this tiny cute place has to offer. Shortly behind Tatopani, the trail finally leaves the sad and ugly dirt road and switches to the east bank of the Buri Gandaki River. On that side as well, there are plenty of landslides to cross and waterfalls to spot. After about 3.5 hours total, we reach Dovan and stop for lunch. For the next 1.5 to 2 hours, it's a steady climb along the east bank of the river, partially really quite steep. The rest of the way to Jagat is rather flat. There is also a metal bridge pinned to the side of the rock face, about 1 hour before finally reaching Jagat. It's a large and clean village, really worth the long walk from Machha.
Geschafft! Party Hardcore!
From Jagat on, the trail stays on the west bank of the Buri Gandaki River. We pass through the villages of Salari and Sidipas. Both are very beautiful places. They're clean and the trail is paved with stone tiles. Afterwards, we cross a huge suspension bridge back to the other side of the river and start the long and steep climb up to Filim. From there, it's less than an hour to, well, either Chisapani or Eklipati. I couldn't quite figure out which village is which. While we had lunch there, unfortunately it started to drizzle, so I had to put my camera away. So there are only some pictures from the rest of the stage. On the next stretch, there are very few villages. The trail passes a huge waterfall and then slowly descends down to the river and the junction to the Tsumbali Trek. We continued to go down to cross the river again and then steadily climb up a narrow canyon in thick fog. It took us about 4 hours to find the next few lodges after our lunch place in a tiny hamlet called Pewa. Unfortunately, one member of our team got very sick that day with belly pain and fever, so we were forced to cut this stage and the next couple of stages as well shorter. We were forced to spend the night in Pewa. Because of our changed schedule, day 4 takes us to Ghap instead of Namrung. The first village we reach is Dyang or Deng after about 1 hour. Then an endless series of ups and downs takes us first to Rana and then to Bihifedi, where we have our lunch, about 3.5 hours from Pewa. The trail goes down to the river again, and from there the way to Prop branches to the left. We continue on straight to Ghap. It takes us about 3 instead of the usual 2.5 hours, because a landslide destroyed the original trail and we had to climb up all the way to the top of it and back down. day 5 we take it especially easy. We only hike from Ghap to Namrung, which takes us about 3 hours. The whole way leads through a dense fairy tale forest, with the Buri Gandaki trapped in a narrow canyon below us. Namrung is a small but clean and pleasant village. Down at the end of the village, there is a tent on the left side housing a small coffee shop. The coffee there is excellent and the owner is especially charming. If you miss good coffee by the time you reach Namrung, I highly recommend going there. Our 6th stage takes us from Namrung to Lo. At first the trail is pretty flat, and within about 40 minutes we reach the beautiful barley fields of Banjam, glowing in neon green and weaving in the wind like ocean waves. From there on it's a pretty steep climb. Within about 1 hour you will reach Li, which is a cute little village. There's also Gompa with a huge prayer wheel inside. After Li, the trail drops to a suspension bridge and climbs back up to Sho, a bit less than 1 hour of Li. During the next 1.5 hours, we climb steadily through fields and hamlets to the large village of Lo. Lo has several comfortable lodges, beautiful barley fields, and a great view of Manaslu and the huge monastery sitting on a hill a bit outside of town. We are now 1 day behind our original schedule, but at least everybody is halfway fit again. Leaving low, we climb steeply past the monastery and into yet another fairy tale forest. Within about 2 hours, we reach Yala with several brand new lodges and an impressive school. From here, it's about 1.5 hours more to Samagaon, a large Tibetan-style village right at the foot of Manaslu, which will act as our base for the next 3 days. It sits at roughly 3,500 meters, which means it's time for altitude acclimatization. In order to be fit for 5,100 meter high Larke Pass, we plan to do 2 day trips from here. The first one up to Ghap, a Buddhist monastery hidden behind icy ridges on a large plateau on over 4,000 meters of altitude. And on our second day in Sama, we will try to reach Manaslu base camp at close to 5,000 meters. You can see all that and also our approach to Larke Pass to reach the Annapurna Circuit in the next episode of our Mannapurnaslu Trek.